Hello all, welcome to my 2026 mock draft. This is Frozen Prairie Scouting. Just a guy that wants to get a little bit more involved in the hockey world, and figured what a way to do so than to create a mock draft, check some scouting, watch some games. I've watched a lot of hockey in my day, so I really wanted to kind of share some of that with the community out there. It's not all going to be perfect, but I figured, hey, why not? This is a lot of fun. So, what I'm going to do here is 2026 mock draft. Watch a lot of these players, bits, clips, shifts, and I kind of created this based on what I'm seeing, what teams need. Also, there's some guys I really like that I think should be higher than others, and maybe those teams should grab those players, so I put them in those spots. I really just wanted to have some fun with it. It's my opinions. I took all the stats that I posted on these pages from Elite Prospects. What a great site. I was a premium member when I was in the hockey world, but for now, I'm just taking kind of from the free version there. Now, let's start with this. Gavin McKenna. What a player. I watched a lot of his games this year. Elite vision. I believe he has the highest ceiling in the class, and I think most scouts are agreeing with that. Just makes a lot of magic on the ice. Absolutely so fun to watch. One of my favorite times was the back at the Ohio State game in overtime. That goalie had to win it was just something else. So I see him as a first-line right winger. Obviously a power play specialist. We've seen him just do some damage over there. A little bit of Kucherov, Kane, maybe a bit of Marner on the high end. This will take him some time, but let's think back to his first year in Medicine Hat as well as this year at Penn State. His second halves were amazing, and that shows the high hockey IQ that he has, the ability to take what he learned, adapt, and just do some damage. So I think playing with Austin Matthews, if he does play this year, I don't know if going back to Penn State is the best option. I still don't know all the rules or anything, but he technically will be 19. I know he's a 2007, so does that allow him to play in the AHL? I don't know, but I think he'll do really well. It's just going to take him some time to figure it out. Now, on to pick two here. We got Chase Reed of the Sioux Greyhounds. I know a lot of people are mocking him here. I'm going to as well. Biggest growth over the past 2 years from playing in the NAHL to now being a potential top 2 pick. We all know if anyone else was choosing here, it would be Stenberg. But I think the Sharks probably have him and Stenberg pretty tight. So why not take the guy? Right-handed D, don't grow on trees. They have a lot of really, really good offensive players coming through. Just take the guy you need. It makes the most sense. Or trade for something that you want. Ivar Stenberg. Haven't watched a ton of him, only a lot in the World Juniors, a little bit of clips here and there. Obviously very pro-ready. He had a really good, strong year in the SHL. This will be a big get for the Canucks. Personally, I really don't like when these 18-year-olds come in and have to play on a tough team and be kind of a guy on a first line, second line, like Stenberg will have to be. Maybe he'll find something with Pettersson, but we all think he's going to be traded. I do believe that. He still has a lot to learn, so even sending him back to the SHL, you want to be bad. Next year's a great draft as well. Why put a guy through that? But if they do, I think he's got the hockey IQ and the playmaking to be able to do this. He'll look good with Besser. He'll look good with Pettersson. I think they could help him a lot. So Stenberg here. Now pick 4, Carson Karels. Guy I've been falling more and more in love with all throughout the year here. He is got an all-around game. Offense, defense, he crushes guys. This is a player that's going to look really, really good next to Lechinov. He has a lot more offense than you realize. I see a top 2 defenseman here. I personally think he might be the best that comes out of this class. I wonder if he might just step in next year. He has that type of game that could. So we'll see, but I think the Chicago Blackhawks hit a home run here. Pick 5, Caleb Malhotra, Brantford Bulldogs. He's got a lot of growth. He's got NHL bloodlines. I don't think the bright lights will be too bright for him. He's been around his dad for many years. All situation type player. He can, need a goal, protect a lead. He's looked really, really good in the playoffs here. Obviously, they got knocked out, but he'll be a first, second line, all situation type center. Really, really like what he brings. Pick 6. I'm going a bit off the board. I don't know. I've seen some mocks with him. I just think this is a great pick for Calgary. I love watching Smiths play. He's a steady defenseman, plays a strong two-way game, solid player for the Flames. He will really help, I think, Prairie in the future. I think he's the most ready NHL player here. Size, skill, stick. He's got a lot of that. Still some things to work on, but he's poised. He's confident. I would love to see him now that Calgary has had the Wranglers in the NHL there. I would love to see them bring him over and develop him in their system right there in Calgary. This is a kid who I think he moved away at 15, I was reading about. So he knows what he's got to do. He wants to be a pro. He's a pro-style player. Bring a guy in like this. He'll be a leader. 7. I love Daxon Rudolph. Probably my second favorite behind Carl's. I'm a Western guy. I like the Western League. I think Western League defensemen do very, very well. His offense is wow. I've been watching a lot in the playoffs here, especially in the finals. I really, really like the way his game is going. A guy who has got Braden Coots on that team. He's led them in points both regular season and playoffs. He's got amazing hockey IQ. He can quarterback a power play. Seattle needs to grab some defensemen. This is a home run pick for them. Now, number 8 here, we got Keaton Verhoff. I know he drops a little bit, but he's a steady defenseman. Putting in the work in the D zone this second half. Grand Forks, really close to Winnipeg development staff. It's a great fit. They need a guy like this to come in with an offensive game. He's got a shot that is unbelievable. Let's not forget, as a 16-year-old, he scored 21 goals in the WHL prior to the guys leaving for the NCAA. 45 points. He had an amazing year last year. He started the year off well. I think this is a great pick for a team that needs some defense in the system that are going to be, more than just steady stay-at-home guys. Morrissey, he's got a lot on him there, obviously. So I see him being a top 40 first unit power play. That's kind of my projection of Verhoff in the future. One more year in the NCAA, then maybe you get him into the AHL. It's right in Winnipeg. He can go up and down, learn a lot, be there, and then he'll take off the year after. So really, really like Keaton Verhoff. Next, we'll go to the 9th pick here. Pick 9, we got Ethan Belchetz, Windsor Spitfires. I remember watching some games of his rookie year. Tough kid. I know he got into a couple fights as a 16-year-old. Came in this year with some higher expectations. 34 goals, doubled his goal total in almost in the same amount of games. I love his hands around the net for being a big power forward. He's got some of that Matthew Tkachuk in him around the net. He uses his size really, really well. He's one of those guys I wish could go pro next year. But I have no idea what he's going to do, if he'll go down to the NCAA or if he'll stay in the OHL. We'll see what him and Windsor's kind of come up with, but this will be a great pick for Florida. A little bit of a fall for Lawrence from the start of the year. But Nashville loves to take these kinds of swings. We had Brady Martin last year. You're grabbing a guy with a high hockey IQ. He's got a great two-way game. Stepped into the NCAA a little bit later this year, but I really liked what he can do. So let's see what's up here. He's a good skater. He could be a first-line center. Could also be a third-line center with the ability to play up the lineup. I like what Tyron Lawrence brings to the table. So I am looking forward to kind of seeing him in Nashville with Brady Martin there. It'll be nice pieces for them to build around. This is where Viggo Bjork gets grabbed. St. Louis, they get a Swede. They got their new Swedish GM in Alex Steen. They love high hockey IQ players. Viggo has proven that he can do it against men. This is the kind of guy that feels like he should wear the blue note. Hard-working, all-around player, smart. He's got compete. I think he could be a nice second-line center. He might project into a first-liner, but I think you're getting a good second-line center. I know he's a little bit small, but there's been a lot of players now that have adapted to the game. He skates well enough. He was the best player in the World Juniors for Sweden. Quite a few of those nights. I love watching him. So I think this will be a good fit for both the organization and the player. At 12, a player I've been watching more and more of is Wyatt Cullen. He has a lot of those pro-style tools that you like in his game. Got a relentless motor all over the ice. He's got some nice offensive instincts. You see him set up some of his guys. A 2-3 center here. Don't know if he'll be a number one, but he's the kind of guy you want to build your team with. Just fits nicely there, and with Jack Hughes already up there, I think Wyatt Cullen fits nicely on that team. You see that he's planning on going to Minnesota. I think he'll end up committing a year early. I think the Gophers need some players, so he's proven what he can at these levels. Even at the U18s, he was their best player. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Wyatt Cullen can do in New Jersey. Now, one of the players had a weirdest year in Oscar Henning. I'm from Alberta. He was out here in Shore Park for a bit. I don't even think he got any games in there. It was so odd what happened with him. He looked like a top 5 pick coming into the year, especially after what he did at the Holinka. I thought he looked really good at Boston College. I watched a couple of his games there, full front to back. He's that power forward, lays some punishing hits. He was the youngest player in the NCAA when he joined. He has a very high ceiling on his offensive game. You saw it a few times. He can set some guys up. He can get around that net, win some battles. I think he's that kind of guy that's going to be a nightmare in the playoffs. And the Islanders, this is a guy I'd be running to the table to grab if he's available at 13. Pick 14. I have CBJ taking Nordmark. I don't know why there hasn't been as much love on this guy. He's fun to watch. He fits what the Jackets need. They need some wingers. They need some more skill and bite. I love his ability. I was just watching more clips today. This kid's fun to watch. He will take what the defense gives him. You wanna take that shot away from him. He will pass it backdoor. You want to take the pass away from him, he's going to make you and the goalie look a little bit dumb. He has that offensive IQ. He's got a bit of that clutch gene too. He scored a big goal to tie the game in the U18s, and then scores the game winner in overtime. He's a very, very good player. I know he's got some work to do on the defensive side, but here's a guy that I think the Jackets should take. They need some wingers in their system too. They got their centers, they got some D, they got a lot coming up, but they need to grab some wingers. And I think Nordmark. I don't know why there hasn't been more love on this guy. The Blues. I mocked this one because this is a lot of what I'm seeing, and I know some of those smart guys know a lot. Another Swede, Malte Gustafsson. Watching more and more of him as well. He looks good. He's a player teams need. Get the steady, projectable D. He skates really, really well. I think there's a lot more in this kid's game as well. He should be in that 4-5 defenseman, second pairing guy with maybe a more offensive guy. But I mean, the SHL, he got 27 games there as a 17-year-old. I mean, and he got into the relegation games. So this is a kid that can play, and they seem to like him. So we'll see where this goes. But I know a lot of people are loving Malte Gustafsson, and I am too. The more I watch of this kid, wow, he's got the size, he's got the stick, he's got that ability, he can skate. We'll see, but this seems like a pick that's going to happen. Here's where Washington they grab probably one of the next bests on the board. He drops, but they're getting a dependable player. He played the full season in the league, got 48 games, 11 points, which is pretty good for a player. He didn't look out of place. You can see he's got that pro style grind, motor, hard nose. He did all the right things to stay in the lineup. He didn't score a lot of goals, but he projects to be that good, dependable, potential third line center. Maybe even get into the second line. I think there's a lot more offense in him. But I think he'll be one of those guys that, he'll have another good year in Tapera, and he might come right into the lineup next year, the year after that. Now, one of the guys I've been falling more and more in love with as I've watched, Adam Novotny. He's got that shot. Wow. Power forward, mature game. A lot of these Europeans do. They play very pro style hockey all throughout those systems, and the more I'm watching, the more I'm seeing. Right place, does the right things, and he played in the Czechia League the year before. I know he only had 3 points, but this is a guy that played a lot more games in the pro league than he did anywhere else last year. Comes over to Peterborough, becomes kind of that go-to guy, and he took full advantage of it. Would have liked him to do a bit more in the playoffs, but I don't think Peterborough was looking to go that far. So this is a guy that I think will fit kind of that Kings, the Ken Holland type pick. Out of Novotny, they'll like him out there. Now Washington, next pick here. Let's get this offensive player. 97 points. He's only playing 1 year in the OHL, and he came from the USHL. Not even a point per game player there, but comes out here, 37 goals, 97 points, 60 assists. He's not the prettiest skater, but he's a strong skater. He's got that agility to keep D-men on their toes, and he uses it really, really well. And he scores all kinds of different ways. And 60 assists, he can find his player. He needs to be in that top 6, but look at who eventually he's going to play with in Washington. You got Dylan Strome, Ryan Leonard. These are guys that are going to love playing with a guy that can put the puck in the net, and Klepov can do it. Looking forward to seeing what he does at Michigan State. Wow, you just see all these Michigan State commits. Everyone's going there. So there'll be a lot of fun to watch next year. I might have to get that package. Now, Utah, pick 19. I think Lynn should go higher. I'm a huge fan of him. Obviously, he had that injury this year. So smart on and off the ice. He's going to University of Denver. That's going to be a good fit for him. Denver's going to grab a lot of these Western League guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more of those guys committing down there. This is the place they need to go. Elite skater with elite hockey IQ. I know I say high here, but you gotta love what Ryan Lynn can do. moving the puck, joins the rush. It's so natural for him to. And a lot of these players, especially in the first round, they do have a bit of that natural instinct to join the rush. But through my coaching and scouting, there's guys that just don't have that. Lynn makes that pass, joins the rush, or he makes his pass, he becomes an option, which is it sucks for D when you have that fourth forward coming down, right? You think it's a 3-on-2, and then the fourth guy's there too, or Ryan Lynn, he's got the puck, rushing it down the ice. I'm just thinking about what he's going to be doing with Gunther Keller and Cooley. Watch out in Utah. They already got something nice going, and then they pick up a guy like Ryan Lynn. Sharks, pick 20. The next pick in the round, Juho Piperine. They have a lot of offense coming in, and a potential first pairing D in this draft with Chase Reed. This just feels like a good fit. You get a steady, strong D-man who already plays that pro style of game, and I've talked about it a lot already. Pro style. This is a guy that Celebrino will love when he's coming back in the D zone and Piperine is grabbing that retrieval. He makes these little bump pass plays that, the pressure's coming on him. He bumps it out, and it makes it so easy for guys like him, Smith, all their other prospects there, Misa, it just makes their lives easier to be able to go on the offense. And I always say the best defense is a good offense. I learned that from somebody that I coached with for a long, long time. I see this guy as a shutdown D-man. Maybe in the top four, maybe he'll get 5-6, depending on how the team is. But he just plays that game that translates very, very well. And the Sharks, got to take a guy like this. Fill that cabinet with D, and fill it with the right D too. You're not taking a big chance on Juho. This is a guy that played 30 games in Liga this year. He doesn't have a ton of offense. Looked pretty good at U20, but I mean, he was even a guy that played on the World Junior team as an underage this year. So this is the kind of guy teams need. Did I purposely drop Dagenais to Philadelphia? No, but it just feels so perfect. He's a perfect flyer. Big, heavy, works hard, skates well, has a nose for the net. This is everything that Flyers fans want. This excites me. I'm not a Flyers fan, but when they're good, the league's good. You got Porter Martone there already. This just feels like the right pick for Philly. Top 9 guy. I think he could probably get into that, second line. He's a centerman. Just plays the game the right way the more I watch him. I know a point per game, QMJHL. He didn't have a great start, but his backhand was really, really good. Would have liked to see more in the playoffs on the point side, but I get excited about Dagenais in Philly. Pittsburgh. This just feels like a Dubas home run pick. Last year, what did they grab? Kindle, Zonin, and Will Horkoff. So you got a lot of offense coming in. You need a guy to get them the puck. You need a guy to get it on the power play to them. Zav, dynamic. Probably be a second pairing defenseman, power play quarterback. I think he'll be a 60-point guy. I know his numbers weren't as strong this year, but he did have that injury. But this is a kid that he loves the game of hockey. You can see it when he loves to score. He loves to create plays. He loves to make guys look silly, and he can do it. He's got that little bit of Lane Hudson, Quinn Hughes in him. I don't think he'll be as good as them, but I do think that Zav will be a very, very good NHL player. Him and Brunicki be a lot of fun there in the future. Boston. Now this is a pick. Blyle has been moving up. He's a right-handed defenseman. Got to Moncton this year, and he was only playing high school hockey last year. Got a little bit of a cup of coffee in the USHL. Gets to Moncton and just takes off. I mean, they were a really good team, but you got to be a good player. You got to be smart. He's had some great coaching there this year, and he's going to need some development time, but he's the kind of guy that'll fit really well in what Boston's building. You got Hagens and Letourneau coming in, along with some other forwards. This fills a need, and he's got a runway to grow into a good player. And Boston seems to do it right on the development, so I think this is just a great fit, both player and organization wise. Vancouver. I know Vancouver fans are going to be pissed off with what I do here. Um, Hold up, just let me talk a little bit. You got a 6'5" D-man, skates well. He's got some composure. Got a bit in the KHL this year, VHL, MHL. Did pretty well in his games over there. I haven't watched a ton. Obviously, you can't get a lot on this guy, but I liked his composure. I liked his skating. And let's be honest, you're not gonna be good for a while, Vancouver. You know, we all know that. Looks like Pedersen's on his way out. Grab a guy that is gonna be really good in the future. You get a 6'5" guy. They don't grow on trees. I think this kid has a lot of potential. And if I was Vancouver, this is a guy I would grab. I don't think they will, but this is just my own personal opinion. Let's try and hit home runs. And you know, Sheetrabakov is a guy that I think will project well in the future. You can't teach size, right? Who's that said that? I think it was Brian Burke. Montreal, second youngest for most of the year, the youngest player in the NCAA. You got Ilya Morozov. I thought he handled himself really well, and he chose a school like I know Miami University. They've had a few good NHLers come out of there, but he picked a school where he was going to play, and they gave him the opportunity to play, and I'm really grateful for them to do that for Morozov. And Montreal, they need to fill out that depth, and this is a kid that will. I think he's got more to his game as well. When you look, 20 points, 36 games, right? He was the guy at Miami University this year. He's a two-way, reliable center. He's got good puck protection, makes smart plays. I see him as probably that third line forward, especially in Montreal, third line center. About 40-point guy in the future, but he's that kind of guy that teams want and need, and I think he really showed a lot this year. And I mean, Ken Hughes, he's a smart guy, and same with everybody there. So I love this pick. I love this fit. Seattle. Going through the prospect lists, I don't love the goalies they have in there. They need a homegrown goalie, and Columbus did it last year. I don't think Dmitry Borchev is as good, but I do think he'll be good, and I'd rather take a chance on the EU guy or Russian guy. They seem to be dominant when they get here. They're doing something well over there on their goalies. He's a big goalie, tracks the puck well. He's got that pro look to him. So I think this would be the guy I would grab if I was Seattle. I don't think they will. They'll probably pick a forward like they always do. But grabbing Daxon Rudolph and Dmitry Borchev just seems like the smart thing to do. I know a lot of people are really high on the kid out of the USHL, the Czech. But it seems that teams lean more towards the Russians lately, and they've proven to be pretty good. So I'll go with Borochev here and see what happens. New York, they stink, and they're not going to be good for a while. They got rid of Panarin, so I liked Hawkinson and what I've watched of him. He's got mobility, he competes well. He defends really well with his stick, which is something that a lot of players don't usually do until they're older. But again, you have a kid playing the pro style. He learns a lot of things earlier. I see him as a 4 to 6, probably 5-6 guy, consistent. The kind of guy you're not going to hear his name a lot, and that's always a good thing, right? He did his job. He's going to come in, +1 or 0, and I think that is something you want to see. He's a kid that played at the World Juniors this year, played all the games, and was a plus player on a team. Let's grab winners. That's what I always kind of say, right? If you're deciding between a couple of guys, let's grab a guy that won, and he's won at the World Juniors. Sweden did really well this year. He's been coached well, so let's grab the right guy. Calgary. To be honest, I think at some point they're going to try and get both the Twins. They're in Medhat. It's right in their backyard playing. Wouldn't it be fun, right? You want to get them both. I think Calgary has the ability to do that. So in this draft, I'm going to have them grabbing Ruck. But if I'm guessing, they're the ones that are going to get both of them. They're going to try and do the finagling. They have the ability to do so. Why not? Why not go for the home run, right? They're going to be ready probably around when the building's ready, and you can put them out on the ice and you'll have them for years. I know people are up and down on them. I like Liam Ruck a lot. I like Marcus Ruck a lot. And I think you need them both to be successful. They compete well. They see open ice. Ruck finds that open ice like you wouldn't believe. He's always kind of in those dead zones, and I mean his brother kind of knows where he is. So top 6 forwards, grab them both. Buffalo obviously had a great year. They're still in there. Hermanson just adds to their cupboard. More than likely, my thought process is this pick or whoever they pick here isn't going to play for them. So grab a guy that's going to be projectable. I like Hermanson. He's got good shooter. He's offensive IQ. He's fun to watch as well. So I'm hopeful for a kid like this to do well. You're getting later in that first round. These guys, some of them make it, some of them don't. But I think this is a piece that they can trade to build for this window that is now for them to win. Carolina, best player available, Hurlburt, stud this year in Kamloops, has that skill and IQ to break down defenses. Really excited for him to go to Michigan next year. I need to do some digging on who Michigan is bringing in. I think they're waiting for some of these big players that are still playing. And I think they're going to be strong as well. That Michigan State, wish I could get there next year to watch some of those games. I project JP Hurlburt, probably 25-30 goal guy. He has the ability to manipulate his shooting, his angles, his shots, or what he does to the goaltenders. Obviously not. I don't think he's going to put up the points he did this year, but he's the kind of guy that fits into Carolina as well. He's got some good speed. He's got good IQ. You got to have a high hockey IQ to play in Carolina with the style of game they play. You need to be in the right places all the time. You see some guys struggle when they get there. I think Hurlburt is the kind of guy that would do really, really well in that kind of structure. I would love to see him there actually. Pick 31, another Swede. I think Steen's going to have a lot of info on these guys. I think he's got some friends back there. I watched a bit of Alexander Command, and if I'm picking at 31, I'm picking the guy that projects. And this is a kid that will probably be a third line center, might be a fourth line guy. Has some good ability, but he competes all over the ice, and that's what the Blues look for. They suck to play against when they're on their game. They have smart, hard, heavy, compete guys. And I think Neighbors is going to be their captain this year, and that's the kind of game he plays. He learned really closely from Braden Shen. That's the kind of guy they're going to get here with Alexander Command, and I think he'll sneak himself into the first round, and I think he'll be a player that we'll see in the future. Now coming into the last pick here, obviously Ottawa got this pick back. They're not allowed to trade it. They're not allowed to do anything with it, and I have them taking Yegor Shilov. He had a great year in Victoriaville this year. He's a complete offensive player. He's got another year in the queue, it looks like. You never know with some of these commitments, though. He might just move right on to BU. I see him very, very similarly to Jack Quinn, a kid that has all the skill and talent, but it's going to take a little bit for him to develop. So he might be a guy that goes, year in the queue, 2 in the NCAA, and then you get him in the AHL for half a year, and then he comes out. Um, but they'll need some offense coming in, and this is a guy that does that. I love Ottawa's back end. They got good goaltending. They got some good pieces up front. Sheloff, I think, is the kind of guy I would take here. He's got a high ceiling, but it's going to take some time for him to develop. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing this. So this right here is my first mock draft. Let me know what you think of it. Did I talk too much, too little? Tell me which picks are good, which picks are bad. I'm sure I missed a few guys that should be here. But this is kind of the way I could see it right now after the lottery. This draft is so tight after 10 and 11 that it can go either way. Even there's some guys right now that I didn't put in here that, I would say they're in the second round apparently, but they're probably going to be first round picks. But I had a lot of fun putting this together. I'm hoping to kind of build a little bit of a community, talk about players, share some stuff that I know, learn some stuff from you guys in the community. But I'm going to try and do some, podcast style stuff. I feel like I got a face for radio, so I'm not going to share some of that stuff. But looking forward to kind of see what you guys do. I'm sure nobody's going to watch this, but hey, who knows? If you do, let me know in the comments.